Hello and welcome everyone to HCS Imagination. This is Hussein, and today we'll be learning on how to make a new trending Instagram effect, which is I see every day on my post on my feeds, which is something like this. Okay, so we'll be using few tricks and few filters on Photoshop to achieve this effect. So just follow along. Let's get started. So we are on Photoshop and I've created a blank document. Uh, this is the same resolution as my desktop, so if I want to have this as my background, I can just use this. So for the subject, what I've done is I've removed the background of the subject and I've kept it on a different document. So let me just drag and drop it to this document. Okay, so this is the first step of remove the background of your subject. So now I'll be making another tutorial on this topic to remove background. So let's convert this into a smart object. So the advantage of smart object is it will not reduce the quality of the image even if you resize it. So I think this is a good size. Okay. So first, what we need to do is observe the subject and see what are the different colors which you can grab. So from the bottom we have the shoe that's white, and we have a skin here, we have the red jean, we have t-shirt, we have the face, and we have these bands. So let's start taking samples of each and every color. So for that I'll be clicking on marquee tool. Okay, you can even press M on your keyboard to select the marquee tool, rectangular marquee tool. So what I'm gonna do is now take samples like this, as you can see. So this is my first sample. I'll click Control J and make so this has become a new layer for me now. So now I'll rename this as layer 1, L1. Okay, so next select, so I'll just rename this subject as subject. Okay, so coming back to my subject layer, I'll go back to the next part. I'll make a sample of it and then Control J. So I'll fast forward this part and I'll select everything. So if the colors are too much on the subject, so it's better to take a bigger sample. So that's for the effect. So I'll take this as my red sample. Okay, so let me just fast forward this. So yeah, so I've created 7 different layers. So what I'm gonna do now is select each layer and stretch it. So for example, I'll select this layer, Control T on my keyboard. Okay, so this layer is selected. Now what I'll do is click on Shift and drag this to the end. Okay, same thing over here and make it a little bit broader and click on enter. So this is layer 1 done. So I'll be doing the same thing for the rest of the layers. I'll fast forward this part. So we are done. So all the 7 layers have been selected and have been stretched. So we have got a beautiful pattern here. So what we're gonna do is merge all these 7 layers into one layer. So select all the 7 layers by clicking on Control. Select the first layer, click on shift and come down and click on the 7th layer. So all the 7 layers are selected. So now click on Ctrl E to merge this. And now what we're going to do next is, if you see, all these labels would be uneven. If you see, this is uneven, so this would not give a proper effect. So what we'll do is, we'll select the marquee tool again by clicking on M, and we will select this part from here to here, and now again Control or Command J. Sorry. So now we have a proper ending for both from both sides. So now we'll select this layer as pattern, and then go to filter, distort, and polar coordinates. So if you see here, if you just zoom out, we can see there's a circle. So don't worry about if the edges are not meeting, it's fine. We will work on that. So but it's created a beautiful circle. So click on OK. So yeah, this has been created as a circle. Now select this pattern by Control T, and holding shift, just reduce this until you're satisfied with the circle. So I feel over here this looks like a proper circle, and I'll click on enter. So I have created this pattern using the colors now. So for this effect, let me just move this pattern behind my subject by selecting and dragging and dropping it behind my subject. So now I'll click on Control T again and move it clockwise. So what I'm trying to achieve here is, I am trying to match this leg, the skin, and over here. So here I'll just make it a little bit smaller. Fine. So the next step would be creating another pattern. So Command J on the pattern again, click on Control T, so your pattern copy is selected. By holding Alt, just reduce the circle. So this will give you a beautiful double circle effect. Okay, not too much. I think this looks fine. Yeah, this looks great. So we have got, and also this effect should look really good when your colors from your subject and from the pattern starts matching up. The white is matching here, the red is matching, and yeah. So this looks good now. So now let's merge both the patterns by clicking on Control and E. So now let's create a clipping mask for the pattern layer. Okay, I've created a clipping mask. So clipping mask, what it does is, if you paint with your black brush, it will start hiding everything which is colored with black. Remember to select your clipping mask and then start painting black. I can see there are a lot of things which have been erased from the other side. So I'll reduce the brush size and change my foreground color to white by clicking on X, and see, start easy. The effect is almost ready now. So now what we're gonna do is add a shadow to the subject. So for that, I'll double click on the subject layer and click on drop shadow. So I've kept this normal settings. I've kept opacity as 45 is good, distance as 150, and spread as 8, and size as 143. So let's click OK. So if you see, there are few shadows which are not needed. So what I'm gonna do is I'll click on drop shadow, right click on this and click on create layer. So what it'll do is it'll create drop shadow as a new layer. You see, the shadow is becoming new. So now I can independently control this opacity here and also add a layer mask and erase a little bit of shadows near the leg, where I don't think it's needed. Okay, so now this effect looks good. Let us just move this a little bit up. I think it looks good here. The positioning is fine. So now let's work on the background of this. So for this effect, it's better to choose colors which are within the subject. So let me just create a gradient layer. So I'll come to the layer 0 and click on gradient. Let me click on just OK. Let's slide a little bit here. Click on OK again. So this I'll change it to radial and reverse this effect. Scale, yeah, this angle, this one is fine. Scale. Yeah, this looks good, isn't it? This looks good now. Just move this right here. This looks great now, doesn't it? Yeah. So you can experiment with different colors. So this looks good for me. So I'll stick on with this color now. So what we'll do is we need to add another shadow for the subject. So for that, I'll just select on a new layer, select my brush tool and reset my foreground and background color to white and black. So by clicking on D, I can reset both. So I'll increase the size of my brush tool and I'll just give a spot. Okay, so this I'll be using it as a shadow. So for that, we can click on control or command T, reduce the shadow by clicking on shift and stretching it a little bit. Like a perfect shadow. Okay, so for the final touch, we'll just add a vignette by selecting by a gradient layer and just switch to radial, reverse, and play with the angle a little bit, increase the scale and change the blending mode to soft light. You can see it's added a decent vignette so that our subject has been. You can play around with the shadows again. It's not a hard and fast rule to have. You can even add a Gaussian blur to it if you want. Add a Gaussian blur so that it looks more realistic. I use it somewhere here. And yes. So we are done with the effect now. So this is how you change this particular image to this effect. Hope you like this effect, and do try by yourself. Do tag me if you have used my tutorial, and if you have tried this effect, do share it with me on my Instagram page, which is in the link in the description. Okay, thank you, and do let me know if you want to learn anything else on Photoshop. I'll be happy to teach you guys. Do comment on this video if you like it. Do share it with your friends, and thank you.